University Teachers Association of Ghana says it's studying an Accra High Court Labour Division ruling that restrains it from continuing its strike action. An Accra High Court Labour Division has granted an interlocutory injunction application filed by the National Labour Commission, and NLC and UTAG have been battling with the legality or otherwise of the strike action, which has entered the 6th week. The substantive issue as to whether the industrial action by UTAG was illegal will be heard on February 22, 2022. In its ruling, the judge opined that the court has taken judicial notice of the strike action and it is aware of some form of negotiations ongoing by the government, and UTAG hence its decision to grant NLC a request. After the hearing, the Executive Secretary of NLC, Ofusua Samoa, had this to say.
The court said it had taken judicial notice of the fact that negotiations were going on. We have been to court. This is the 3rd time. The court gave a directive in the first instance, for which the Labour Commission issued an invitation to the parties to appear before it. There was a response from UTAG saying that they are unable to appear before the commission, and for that matter, they were going to engage the government directly, which they began doing and reported that the last time in court, the engagements were going on. So the court had taken judicial notice that even though there hasn't been any express application before the court or a filing to show what is going on, the court knew we have been engaged. You were there, you saw that the judge engaged the party. So it took judicial notice and gave effect to it. This order means that while the substantive case is being heard or is going to be heard, which will start on the 22nd of March, the UTAG is to call off a strike, return to the lecture hall whilst the substantive matter is being heard. And as the judge rightly referred, in their own affidavit, if the court grants this application, they have no option than to return to the lecture halls as the court directs, and that is what the court upheld.
Now, when the court gave
UTAG president at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Samuel Bedbuidi, the national UTAG body will communicate when lecturers are expected to return to the lecture halls. He, however, added that the substantive issue of the condition of service for lecturers should not be ignored. But lawyer for UTAG, Kwesi Kelly Delata, bemoaned how the court dealt with the injunction application before the substantive matter.
My understanding of the whole matter is that the government had said that if they did not suspend the strike, no negotiations will be had. So that's the point where we are. There's complete frigid silence on negotiations at the moment. So no negotiation. Well, so the judge had 2 applications before him for hearing today. The first one is the substantive motion, which is seeking to enforce the directives of the National Labour Commission, and then an injunction application. Now the thing is that the main motion, which is seeking to enforce the directives of the Labour Commission, was filed before the injunction application was filed. In our view, the main motion, which is seeking to enforce the directives of the National Labour Commission, should have been heard first. But the judge thought otherwise and decided that the injunction application should be heard first. And the outcome of that application is what you all witnessed in court today. The judge decided to grant the interlocutory injunction application. We are going to study the order and advise our clients accordingly. And I wish to remind you that the main motion, which is seeking to enforce the directives of the Commission, is still before the court. The hearing of that application has been adjourned to the 22nd. So on the 22nd, we're back in court for the main motion to be heard. And let me repeat that that main motion is seeking to enforce the directives of the Commission. And the directive of the Commission is that UTAG should go back to the classroom because the strike they have declared is illegal. So arguments will be heard on that. We'll look forward to that with bated breath. And we're very confident that our arguments will sway the day. Yes.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go live to the University of Ghana campus where my colleague Manuel Cranton is pitching camp. Manuel, I'm grateful that you bring us updates from the University of Ghana. What can you tell us this morning?
Well, so Aisha, in the past couple of minutes that I've been on the university's campus, what we're seeing is it updates emptiness really in the classroom. So all of them, as I look at them currently, have been abandoned. There are no students inside, and also there are no lectures inside. Well, this is in clear opposition to what the court, the Accra High Court ordered yesterday that the lectures call off their strike and return to the negotiation table with government and then also the National Labour Commission. Um, we were told that a number of the students had actually earlier in the morning attempted coming to class from our church at the university. The very first lecture at the University of Ghana starts at 7:30 a.m. And so at the time, there were quite a number of students who, in the hope of seeing their lectures in class, had actually attempted to come for the lectures, but to their disappointment, the lectures were not on site. And so that is indeed what is happening. No students inside, and then no lectures also inside. Essentially, the confirmation that we have is that the UTAG strike, at least at this current material moment, is still in force here at the University of Ghana, Aisha.
We know that because of the prolonged strike, students had to go back home. Are they coming back on campus? Do you find some students on campus?
Aisha, what we know is that some of the students indeed expressed interest of wanting to go home, and some of them actually did go home. As of our last visit about 2 weeks ago to the university, what we saw was a number of the students being chauffeured out of campus by their parents and so on. We are told that with the communication that UTAG is supposed to return to the lecture hall, some of them are getting ready to return to class. The catch, however, is that they are looking forward to having a definite, confirmation that their lectures are back in school before they return. Because as you know, some of the students come from really far places, some out of Accra, and so they will not want to incur the cost of moving all the way to the university and then the strike continuing to be enforced. And so that is what we have. Some of them just may be returning to campus, but they are yet to do so right now.
Manuel Cranting is a man at the University of Ghana, bringing us updates as to how the campus is looking like right now after the court ordered the UTAG teachers to go back to the classrooms. We're yet to hear from the teachers whether they've decided to actually abide by this rule, because they say they're studying the court rule before they can take any action. We can now go to the KNUST and speak with Dr. Daniel Norris Bekwe, who is the Investor Relations Officer. We'll try and get Dr. Daniel Norris Bekwe to speak to us on this matter, but we are still also monitoring other university campuses to see whether the teachers are back in the classroom and also see whether teaching and learning is ongoing. But President at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Samuel Bedwedikusi, the National UTAG, he says the National UTAG body will communicate when lecturers are expected to return to the lecture halls. He adds that the substantive issue of the condition of service for lecturers should not be ignored.
I do not disagree with you on this call at all. I do not disagree with you. But the point is that, it is also important that, we have a legal team in place. And therefore, it's important that we listen to what the direction they have. But other than that, it is clear. The judge has spoken, and I don't think that it will be proper for anybody to disrespect the orders of the court or to disrespect the orders of the judge. It is clear. But then, again, in carrying out that function, which is clear, it is also proper that the right thing is done. That, you look at all the issues that there are, and of course, what exactly the judge ordered, and then we move it from there. I do not think that also it's just stretching the matter. No, not at all. It's important that we don't just presume that these are the specific orders. So we need to look at what are the specific orders that came in, and then you carry it from there. I don't think that anybody wants to stretch this matter. I have said in the past that litigation is not the way to go. At the end of the day, whatever we are doing is about conditions of service. So if you're going to spend all your time in court and not touching the substantive matter, then we are not moving. We are not moving on. I mean, that is not what our members want. But of course, we were not the first people to even head to court. It's the NLC that took us to court. So let's follow the advice of the legal team, and then we'll move it from there. So you have said this before, you didn't honor your part of the bargain, so now trust is a bit difficult. But beyond that, I think that the employer should take the condition of service matter critical, and then invite the union to sit and discuss these matters in a very open and transparent manner, a very frank manner, and try to resolve that issue, because it affects morale. Right. We don't want a situation where people go back and then they are even not effective at what they are doing. It affects morale. So once there is that goodwill and that assurances that your conditions, something ought to be done about it, I think that it's something that all of us need to rally around the table and get this resolved within the shortest possible time.